Hey, how you doing? I jumped on a bit early this morning and forgot to put my microphone on. Hang on while I figure out where my bits and pieces are. Just trying to get it away from my jumper here. It's cold here. Very cold. Well, hopefully that's pretty good. Such a mess, such a mess, such a mess. Get rid of that. Have a bit of that. You link me in Facebook. Oh, thank you, Emblem. Hey, side of merch. We had a sale yesterday. Someone bought a hat. Who was it? All right. Hopefully, does that sound all right? Is it not too rustly on my jumper? Because it's not set up the way I would like to have it set up. It's not too bad. It's not too bad. All right, all right. Who we got here? Jambo, Emplum. Yeah, no volume. Sorry about that. I jumped on and forgot to set the mic up. Hopeless. Hopeless. Joseph. Yo, Graham. Dan. Trillionaires. Smash that like. Sounds great. Smashed. Awesome. 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 Let me come back here. Your channel. I'm going to link this over to Zrun. I'm going to link it to the Discord. One second, guys, then we'll have a chat. Might get a few extras, a few newbies. Ah, Chateau, you made it finally for a live Poseidon. All right. Couple of things. The first thing I wanted to mention was, if you were watching when I revealed the drop hack, how to get around the lockout, I copped a lot of flack for that, but I just want you to know that if you're a subscriber of my channel, you will know essentially everything that I know when I know it. All right, and that includes if I find a sneaky little hack, and I happen to just find that on the day, right then, right there. And I thought, you saw, should I tell you, should I not? And I decided yes. But as it goes, everything that I know, I will tell you, and that will continue tomorrow because I am going to tell you about 3 new projects, all dropping very, very soon, which is all going to make my chance of getting the key pieces even more difficult, but it's going to give you an opportunity to get those key pieces as well. Whereas if I don't tell you about it, you probably won't know about it, and you'll have no chance at all. And then of course I could go and get the key pieces and come back and tell you later, but that would be a pretty sucky NFT sports channel, which is what I'm trying to develop. Poseidon Racing is going to start putting our toes into all the sports, not all the sports NFT games, but all the ones that interest me in any case. Joseph got 3 horses using that hack. I'm glad you did, mate. Hopefully you didn't already have 100 horses, did you? So the point being, if you're a subscriber of this channel, we're going to do all the Zrun good stuff. I'm producing a Zrun series in the background at the moment. I hope to get a lot of those videos done today, pre-recorded, and that is a full knowledge dump of everything that I know and all my secrets. Okay, that'll be coming soon. But then with the new projects, I'm going to get in there early, research them, see what we need, give you my opinion on the best pieces, and give you my strategy on how to play these games and how to set yourself up as one of the early movers. What now, Customs? Sorry I laughed, I just like the first few words. I'm so mad, sad and frustrated right now. Was so excited I bought my first horse today. Well, it was a fake. Yeah, sorry about that. If you've been watching the channel, you will know that I warn my subscribers almost every video to be careful of people trying to take your money. So I'm really sorry that that happened, but there's a lot of people in crypto trying to take your money and trying to give you just crap. Oh, Zed Chateau, have you got a YouTube channel, mate? Or some sort of following? M Plum says they follow you as well. If you've got a YouTube channel, give me a shout in the comments and I'll give you a shout out. All right. So, big news tomorrow. 3 new drops. One of the drops is on a couple of days, 3 days from now roughly, and it's very minimal. It's only 100 pieces. And they're only going for 0.1. And it looks really, really fun, really, really interesting. And you're going to want to know about that. I shouldn't tell you because I want to get one of those. With 100 pieces, they're going to go like that. But let's see, hopefully some of you guys, some of my subscribers can get one. And then there's 2 other car racing games. The first one is not a car racing game. It's a racing game, but it's not a car racing game. And then there's 2 car racing games I want to touch on as well. One is currently dropping now, but there's plenty left, and there'll be plenty left when I get to that. In fact, it is called Z Gazette tipped me off on it the other day. It's called Hash Garage. Okay, you can have a look at that. Do not, at this stage, don't buy pre-minted cars. Just go to the official minting if you're going to look at that one. But I'll talk more about that tomorrow, and the other 2 games and the drops that are impending. Okay. Yeah, that's going to be my core of my channel, Raymond, is if I've got the tips, you've got the tips. Okay, so make sure you subscribe if you want what I know. Yeah, so there's a warning from What Now Customs. Look, if someone contacts you, particularly via direct message, there's a large percentage chance that that's a scam. Okay? A large percentage chance that that's a scam. Even if they have, copied Poseidon Racing logo and Poseidon Racing name, then ask them to do something like change the stable description that horse is contained within. Something like that. So you can go and just change the stable description in ZRun of where that horse is contained and change it to a particular word, then you'll know you're at least dealing with the stable owner of that horse. Doodlescape. How much do you need to spend to get a horse at the moment? Let's have a look. Geez, there's a lot of whinging and complaining on the Discord at the moment. It's been 4 days of complaining. Don't people know that complaining never got you anywhere? Get out and get stuff done. Get on the front foot. Get positive. Sure, I complain every now and again, but I get over it within about an hour and I move on to other things, figuring out how I can find a little angle to get myself in. I just don't know about some of these people that just complain for 5 days straight. What are they doing? They're obviously not researching other games, other platforms, or looking for deals on OpenSea. What am I looking up? ZRun. The point being that you might look at my stable and I've got 40, 50 horses or something like that, and my brother's got another 40 or 50. Oh, not quite 50, about 40 each. And you think, oh, you've been super lucky, you've got all these cheap horses, but they all came from OpenSea. Most of them all came from OpenSea. I've probably bought less than most people on ZRun drops. And as a comparison, the really high flipping horses, like the Zs, 8s, 9s, 10s, for example, I have bought a total of, on drops, maybe 4 or 5. And how many did I flip? 0. How many did I give away at cost? I think all of them. Okay, so, you know, those people that are hacking me saying that I'm only doing this for selfish purposes and I've already got too many horses, I'm usually, the horses I'm buying at drops in the past have been Z1s and 2s and 3s. So I'm not in the field that everyone's concerned about anyway. But anyway, whatever. All right, how much is the cheapest horse on Z? If it's your first horse, look, what I would do is you need to learn the game. I would just buy the cheapest horse. Blue Blood here. Now I don't say $356. This thing is probably a stone cold donkey. Let's have a look at Know Your Horses. Shout out to Know Your Horses, best Z tool in the game, knowyourhorses.com. Oh, hello, look at this guy. I had this guy sitting in my stable with 3 races. Let's come down and have a look at the 3 races. He had this one, the Griffin, not great, 847. And then I put him in a freebie, 777. I was like, no, that's not very good either. And then I put him in 1,000 paid and it was, you know, 750. But these 2 results corrupted me a little bit and I thought, this guy's probably not very good. And then I didn't really take much notice of that. And then lately I ran him and have a look at these odds. There's a couple of freebies, but have a look at these odds. These are paid from here up. 7s, 6s, 5s, 9s, 9s, 8s, 6s, 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 7s, 7s, 8s, 8s, 7s, 5s, 9s, 9s, 8s, 10s, 9s, 9s, 6s, 8s, 7s, 8s, 6, 6, 7, blah de blah blah. Oh, there's a bit of a roughie there. 11s. Not great. But he's had like 3 over 10s in about 30 odd races and look at that win percentage. Very nice. And it is a stronghold ivory. Yes. All right, so that's the fun of finally getting a good horse. What were we looking at? Blue Blood. Jump over here and Blue Blood. Thanks, Ryan. Nick, I mainly buy raced. I'd rather pay 5 or 10 times the drop amount for a 15% winning rate. If it's a really, really good horse, like in paid races, not a freebie runner, I'd rather pay for a really good horse than scratch lotto tickets. And I think that it's a more efficient way of buying generally. I certainly wouldn't be buying Z9s or 10s for 10x drop price that are unraced. That is beyond ridiculous because 90 out of 100 of those horses are just going to the glue factory, in my opinion. They're not very good. So they're probably, you know, if you can get them at $200, that's great, absolutely. Or if you can get them for free in the upcoming drop, which we're going to talk about in a minute, and I'm holding you guys in suspense. If you can get them for free, that's even better. If you can get them for $200, great, that's worth it. But paying $1,000 for an unscratched $2 lottery ticket, no thanks. Okay, so I'd rather buy, you know, let's assume that an unraced is $1,000 at a Z9 10 level. I would rather pay $5,000. Now I know this is going beyond most people's budgets, and I'll talk about budgets in a minute. I would rather pay $5,000 or $8,000 for a proven 15% runner than I would pay $1,000 for an unraced. Now, budget-wise, you're probably at this point not looking at Genesis, and if it's your first horse you're looking for, obviously congrats. Hopefully you'll get one in the upcoming airdrop because it's very weighted in your favour if you don't have a horse yet and you've been active. I would buy one of the cheapest horses I can find and just learn the game. Like, this isn't the worst horse, 25 races, it's at least had a win. It's not good. They are free races, so that's pretty sucky. We're in a bit of a bottleneck at the moment, as you guys know, and it's not good for the new players. And this is great why Z is dropping 5,000 horses to the 0 horse stables because of this. The cheapest horse on OpenSea is $315. I was selling Z10 Genesis when this game first blew up. I had about 30 Z10 Genesis. I was selling them for about $90 each. All right. I bought them for $25 to $40, but I wish I still had them. But yeah, you can go through these. You'll find a half decent one. Betty Boop. Cool name. Betty Boop. At least it's a legendary, I suppose. Legendaries are pretty good. Probably better for breeding. Rare colour, absolute zero. Is that a rare colour? If you type in Z run colours, you get to the Z run colour blog. Yeah, that's a rare colour too. That's not a baddie, that one really. Has some ongoing value. Look, that's probably going to lose value as soon as breeding opens. This thing will not be worth $363 anymore, I wouldn't imagine. But that's the risk you're going to take. If you're desperate to get into the game, jump on one of them. If you're not absolutely desperate, wait for the drop, wait for breeding, wait for the draw. I think maybe when the draw comes, that was one of the interesting things, right? Let's talk about, let's get there, let's do it. Let's talk about the news update and the free drop. Raymond's Finney got it $4.93 odds. Now I don't want to race her again until racing is fixed. Is this wise? It's up to you, Raymond. I'm always very inquisitive when I've got $4.93 odds, whether it was a weak Griffin. One of the things you can do, Raymond, is wait about 3 weeks and then go back through and check all the other horses and if they're any good when they ran. Because if there's any other guns in there, it's a really good sign that you've got a good horse. For example, Third Head, which is a very good horse, was recently bought by Good Boy Stables with only 1 race under its belt, or 2 race, one race I think. If we go back here, you can see its Griffin was $3.14. Now I was all over this horse but didn't have the ETH at the time to grab it. And you can see if you come back here to the Griffin, $3.14, that's epic number 1. But this horse here, is it this one? Stylish Minerva? Or is it Border Bandit that's a gun? One of these two is a gun. Yeah, this one, look at that. 22% ROI, 15% win rate. Very strong horse. So that sort of hints that if you're coming up against a strong field and still have good odds, that's a really good sign. What about this one? No, not so good. This horse would be interesting though. Great White Stables. This could be like multitask. That 770 was in a very strong field. And then it's come out, the freebie at 1400 is not great. That's not great. But look at the distance change. I think this thing's a gun at long. There you go, there's a red hot tip for you. This thing is probably a gun at long distance. I might try and get a hold of Border Bandit and see if I can buy it before you guys do. See? As soon as I got the hot tip, boom, you got it. Hit the sub button. Okay, what are we doing? Raymond reckons it was a weak Griffin. Yeah, well, it might not be that strong then. I've had a horse get $3 odds and it's not very good. Yeah, much like Edward did here. Pulled at $4.80 and then not that great. I don't know, UFO nut, what they're going to drop, whether it will be, what ratio, Z9s, 8s, 9s, 10s. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. So the interesting thing that I found is obviously there's been a lot of complaining on Z Forum, and that's understandable. That's absolutely understandable. They messed up that drop. They messed up the drop. They've messed up a few things. Breeding has been, we've been waiting for breeding forever. Come on, breeding. The good thing is we now have a date. And geez, it's going to take, if it doesn't launch on that date, look out, it's on for young and old. But the interesting thing is, around when the drop was messed up, everyone was like, oh, the existing stables are buying 10 and 20 horses, that's really bad. I agree, that is really bad. And should be avoided if possible. Now, maybe it's not always avoidable. But then the main complaint around that is we need to get the horses into the new stables. But as soon as Zed announced that they're giving, what are they giving? 5,000 horses to zero. Here we go. We'll go through this in a minute, but 5,500 horses to 0 horse stables. Everyone that had 1, 2 or 4 horses, and I do agree, they should have weighted these, they should have weighted these more evenly, but all of a sudden, it was all about rewarding. It switched from getting horses into new stables, and this is not everyone, but this is the sentiment of the conversation on Discord, went from, it's all about getting horses into new stables, to why aren't we rewarding the people that have been here for the longest time? And I think, seriously? Like flip-flop, you know, make up your mind which way you're going. And maybe it's different people talking about it, but I think this is an excellent thing. It's going to be great for the game. The more people, the broader the base of the game is, the better. You know, if you've got people that get a free horse and they tell their friends, this game is awesome, get in there, get a horse, awesome. Welfarian, congrats, 0 horses, that's epic. Border Bandit? Is that your horse, Andy Miller? Anyway, let's do this first. Stop getting distracted. Okay, so they're giving away $1 million worth of horses, Z8 to 10. Epic, epic. Now, it's, as far as I can tell, it's roughly about half the horses that are left. Slightly under. I think there's probably about 15,000 left, and they're giving away 6,000 or so. We're talking about why the drop was called off. Message from the founders. So the $1 million drop. So they're looking for the fairest way possible, enabling more players to join. Okay, that's awesome. On Thursday, the 1st of July, a couple of weeks away, they're giving away $1 million worth of horses of the very rare Z8 to Z10 Genesis. A genuine demonstration that we care for the Z-head community, and I 100% know that they do. These guys are genuine guys. I've had conversations with the majority of the developers, face-to-face, well, not face-to-face, but across Skype, so digitally face-to-face, and they're absolutely genuine, in my opinion, not financial advice. $1 million drop, Thursday the 1st of July, that's epic. Just checking questions. 3 bids on board abandoned. Last 5 minutes. Was that the first horse I looked at, was it? Yeah, we'll talk about that, Uncle Fester, about the fact that it looks like it's the amount of Genesis horses. Yes. I've started a bidding war on someone's horse. 0 horses, awesome, Matthew, you'll be in with a big shot. Oh, Jay put out a tweet, I haven't seen that. Great, great. Oh, this is awesome, Brandon, that so many of you guys are excited about this. That's what it's about. Tell your friends. Tell your friends. Unfortunately, they're too late for the snapshot. The snapshot, I believe, was on the previous drop date. But now, another thing for you guys, I've made the call that if I've got, me and my brother have about 3 or 4 stables, about 2 each. If one of my stables or his stables gets a free horse, it's being given back away to you guys for free. I don't know how I'll do that yet. We'll wait and look at the details. If I get a horse, we won't discuss those details yet because I may not get one. I probably won't get one. But if I do, it's going back to you guys. Secondly, when the next and final drops come, I'll be buying Z9s and 10s specifically for the community to resell at cost. All right, I'm not going to buy any more horses for myself. I'm going to buy specifically for you guys. All right, so keep that in mind. I will be buying on OpenSea if there's cheap bargains, but as far as drops go, when we get the cheapest of the cheap, I'll be buying for Team Poseidon. All right, so the $1 million drop is open to anyone who has a stable and attempted to participate in the Eco Drop on Thursday, the 10th of June. Now, I think this is going to be expanded because a lot of people were talking about, well, I was in drop 4 and I didn't really participate. I didn't click on the links and da-da-da. I think they'll probably expand this to anyone that was active within their account, you know, on that day. You know, whether it be racing, whether it be just clicking on the Z server like ZRun to look at something, or any sort of browsing history. I'm not technical, I don't know how that works, but I'm sure they're going to expand that slightly beyond that criteria there. We'll see how that pans out in the coming days. For further clarification, a snapshot has already been taken. No changes to your stable lineup will change the outcome. So the snapshot, I believe, was taken on the Eco Drop. So if you had no horses leading up to the Eco Drop, you're in with a good chance of getting one. Excuse me, via this airdrop. And the reason for prioritising the active accounts is because they don't want to give horses to inactive accounts that just end up getting lost in the system. All right, now I am actually going to contact Zed and ask them if they can make it a claim system for this exact reason, so that you have, say, 30 days to claim your horse. Maybe you get an email, gets sent out to your stable email, and it says, congratulations, you won a horse in the recent airdrop. Contact such and such, or press this button to claim. At least something that requires activity. Okay, so that we don't lose many horses. That would be ideal. How are people chosen? So this is the criteria. They have taken into account the date when the stable was created. I don't know what that means, whether they're prioritising newer stables with no horses, because the older stables with no horses are probably no longer active anyway. The size of the stable, all right, how many horses you have, and the count of Genesis racehorses in the stable. I also heard last night that where you bought the horses also weighs in. I think they're going to, I'm not 100% on this, but I think, for example, if you bought an expensive, if you've got one Genesis in your stable and you bought it from OpenSea, maybe, I'm not sure whether you're going to make it into the 0 category. Well, I don't know, maybe. It's a lot of manual process, so maybe, I don't know. Maybe. It wouldn't be that hard, would it? Because you could just cross-reference who bought from a drop or the marketplace and still has one Genesis. If you've got one Genesis and you didn't buy from the marketplace, maybe you're in there. I'm not sure. Okay, and here's how they're doing the raffle. Now, I agree with a few of the complaints. Look, I'm here. I'm down here. 3 of my stables are down here with the 9. I don't know how many stables exist down there. There might only be, you know, couple of hundred, 200-300 is there, stables that have 21 or more. So, you know, 9 horses. Might have a 2 or 3 shot in 100 for a raffle drop. Happy days, that's not too bad. I do have a couple of empty stables. I don't think they were active on the day, but if they do get one of these ones, it's coming back to you guys. All right, now I do think the weighting of this, if I had have seen this prior, I might have suggested that, okay, this is fantastic, but I think there needs to be more weighting here, particularly here actually. 5,500 for all the zeros, but I would have liked to have seen, say, 3,000 there, 1,500 here, 1,000 there. More like that. That would have been really, really great, because I think these people with 1 to 4 horses, 1, 2, 3 or 4 horses in their stables, have shown that they're really active and really keen on the game, and it would have been great to maybe have more weighting in there as well. And not to mention that a lot of these people paid very expensive prices for these horses. Okay, and again, you could maybe say that if anyone in these categories got a horse from the drop, then fair enough, they stay there. But if anyone in these categories has yet to get a horse from a drop, zip, up you go to zero. Hopefully that's the case. Hopefully that's the case. Am I single? No, I'm married. I am married, Alex. Zach, all good? No, we're going to do it tomorrow, Jambo. New projects tomorrow. This time tomorrow morning, we're doing 3 new projects, one of which is dropping in roughly 48 hours or a little bit longer. And that's the one that you're going to be most interested in, and that's the one that's going to be the hardest to get. Only 100 pieces. Only 100 pieces. Matthew, the problem is, Matthew asks, have I had any discussions with the Z team about why they're deciding to give away 6,000 horses? No. The only discussion I had yesterday was to say, bloody well done, and I appreciate everything that you do, just to give them some support, because the Discord was just feral of ungrateful people complaining. And, well, fair enough to a degree, on some level. I think if you're concerned that you're in that group instead of that group, if you're in the 1, 2, 3 or 4 group instead of the 0 group, I think there is a little bit of room for complaining there, but, you know, it is what it is. Hopefully Zed's going to slightly, maybe not change the weight of numbers, but have a look at the people in these 2 groups, and if they haven't acquired a horse from a drop, and they had to buy the horses after market, then they'll put them in there, hopefully. Yes, they should know who bought from a drop, Uncle Fester. So I think why they decided to give 6,000 horses away is the new players were having a lot of trouble dealing with the website. You know, it usually takes one failed drop before you figure out, oh, I've got to use the filters, I've got to do this, I've got to open multiple windows and give itself a chance to refresh, to sort of get in. And that's why the people that have been around for 3 or 4 drops and have missed out on the earlier drops. Look, I missed out on Z9s and 10s in the first drop I participated in as well, because I couldn't get it to load. And then the next one, I figured out a few tricks, got it to load, and now I've been sharing the tricks with you guys. But I think for the newer stables coming in, they often don't get that information, they panic, they can't get a horse, and they freak out, and it's a bad experience. So they decided, rather than put them through that, let's just give a whole bunch of 0 stables horses. It's a great idea. Yeah, who knows? Maybe they will switch that slightly. It'd be great if they just changed the weighting ever so slightly. Everyone would have been happy if this was 3,500, this was, you know, 1,000 and 1,000. Or if this was 3,000 and that was 1,500 and that was 1,000. I think you get a lot more happy people. Of course, then you've got the 5 to 10s going, oh, tragedy. But I think if you got 5 to 10s, like, zip it. All right, you got enough. Seriously. You've got a good handle on the game, you've got a bunch of horses. There would be a couple of unlucky people that, you know, maybe bought 5 to 10 Z10s on OpenSea and paid premium. But you can't please everyone, but I think they would have pleased a lot more had that been 3.5, 1.5, 1. Okay? I think once you get to 5 to 10, yeah, you're well established in the game, and look, you don't really need a free horse. Mark, that's how many horses they're giving away to the stables with X amount of horses. This is how many horses you have in your stable. This is how many horses they're raffling to that particular bracket of stable. All right. What else we got in here? So good luck, everyone. Good luck. Lucky winners will receive one and one only, apparently, of the 6,000 horses directly into their stable. You know, I hope they do a claim system. I might send them a message today and ask them if they can maybe do a claim. You can read all about the postponement. There was some traffic issues and server issues and glitches and all sorts of stuff, so they stopped it and pulled it up early. What a great graphic that is. Horses in the subway, I love it. And then there's a message from the founders. Okay, these guys are good guys. I've had a chat with a couple of them, and I hope to get one or two of them on the show soon to, you know, just have a chit chat. They are pioneers. There's a lot of things coming up. You know, a lot of things they have to fix on the run themselves. They are designing the game and designing the software and designing the code behind it. Mark, that's a dead set stitch up. Be nice if we could choose the Colt or the Finny. Are you one of the ones that's been non-stop complaining on Discord, I wonder? Please. I was having a joke with my brother yesterday. I'm sure you're not one of the ones complaining on Discord, by the way. I'm just joking. But I was having a joke with my brother yesterday on the phone. I said, these people that have just been complaining for 5 days straight on Discord, like, what the? First of all, what on earth are you doing? Like, get out there, research other projects, get out there, look for deals on OpenSea, get out there and make things happen instead of just complaining and hoping things get given to you, number one. And if that offends you, then unsubscribe because, you know, we don't need you around here. But the other point being, I was saying that I'm just wondering how many people are like shouting at the screen, you're a da-da-da, and unsubscribing. We'll see how many negative subscribers this video gets. The other thing is, I was saying that these type of whingers that have been whinging for 5 straight days will win a free horse and they'll be like, it's not the right colour, it's not the right breed type, it's not the right this, it's not the right that. It's like, dude, you got a free horse. Like, come on. You got a free horse. It's time to stop complaining. But anyway, you can't please everyone, as they say, and some people you can't please ever. I've come to learn in the last 5 days. Some people will just complain about everything, even if it's in their favour. Dontar Carpenter, yes, you can buy Buck Wild from me. Buck Wild is on discount prices. Is it a super duper deal? Maybe. Let's have a look. Yeah, I know, George. I think they feed on that negative energy, that type of people. I'm just looking at it, just shaking my head, like, how can they just be complaining for 24/7? I just revealed some of the projects I'm talking about tomorrow. There's one, Hash Garage. Got a few of them. There's another one. I will talk about more and what you need to look out for these guys, though. Isn't that a sexy looking car, though? If you can't afford a real Lamborghini, then get out there and get one of these ones. Damn. We will talk about that tomorrow. So hit the sub button tomorrow, roughly the same time. We're talking about Riot Races, Hash Garage, and one more that is yet to be launched, which is very, very interesting. These crypto whips are interesting as well. I'll tell you about those tomorrow too and how they tie in. Buck Wild. It's all right, Mark. Air your frustrations, of course, but as long as you get over it and just have a breath before you spit it out too. Some people are just spitting out absolute baloney. Like, the more I watch the Discord, I'm telling you, you should be very careful of the information you get on Discord because most of it is either mildly incorrect or completely off the mark. Okay? There's a lot of people just pretending like they know everything, but yeah, they're very, very far off the point. All right, Buck Wild. This guy is for sale. 4.5 Ethereum. Last drop. Z2s were going for, whoops, hello Photoshop. Where is that gone? Oh, hello. That's what I wanted, and I wanted you. Last drop, I just want to have a look at that. Z2s, 7.8. They were 7.8. This guy is cheap, in my opinion. He's not a champion. He's not. He's just not. Otherwise, I wouldn't sell him. But I think at 4.5, it's borderline bargain. He's had 6 races, a couple of thirds. And they're all free races except that $21 there. $21 odds in 2-2. I would say he's more of a sprinter. You can see here $6.08 at 1200. He might be decent down low. Yeah, Mike, it is. It's like watching a train wreck. I was watching it all day Friday and wasted a lot of my time. Anyway, if you're interested in Buck Wild, give me a message me on Discord or message me on Facebook. I've currently got an offer of $375. That's not going to get it done. 4.25 might get it done though. We're not in any rush. We're not in any rush. Because long term, I'm extremely bullish on Z-Run. I do think that there's a down period in prices just around the corner as well. And we might see a little bit of impact to the lower end, the Z8, 9, 10 floor, with them dropping 6,000 horses. We might see a lot of those horses get resold into OpenSea. Guess what I'll be doing? I'll be buying them, all right? So even though if I get a free one, I'm going to give it to you guys, once the floor drops and people start selling Z10s for, I don't know, what are Z10s going for now? I think they're under 1,000. I think they're about $500 for an unraced. If we go to Nucleus, znucleus.com is a good site. Z10s, oh sorry, oh yeah, active listings is fine. Z10s, Genesis, and if we go 0 races, what are people wanting? $700 roughly. Look, if that drops when they drop 6,000 of these horses and Z10s are like 400, 350, I'll be grabbing some. I'll be grabbing a few. So that's the other thing, right? It just does my head in. You got people complaining that the horses on OpenSea are too expensive, all right? And then the same people will complain that dropping 6,000 horses will lower the floor of Z8s, 9s and 10s. Oh, hang on, that's a good thing. Lowering the floor gives you access to get in on the ground floor before it goes to the moon again. Okay, that's enough. That's enough. All right. So tomorrow we are talking about those projects. Let me switch back over here to full screen whilst we wrap this up. Do we know who bought the Poseidon hat? Who bought one of these? Someone bought one of these. Awesome. Thank you for your support. We get about $5–10 from that, which it's not going to allow me to retire just yet, but it all helps. It all adds up. Any more questions? No. All right. So if you have, unfortunately, I can't really answer a bunch of things of the technical side of that drop. You know, whether or not if you bought from OpenSea, if you'll be in the 0 bucket or the 1 bucket, etc., etc., etc. Contact, well, actually, don't even bother contacting Zed. I'm sure there's going to be a deep dive description into that before the date. Okay, there'll be another blog with the full details of exactly how this works. So just sit back and chill and don't worry about complaining or don't worry about what you're going to get or what you're not going to get. Just wait for that blog, and when that blog comes out, you'll have all the information that you know. Eco drop, as far as drops, future drops are concerned, I kind of hope they just put it on hold for even a couple of months, get racing and breeding dialed in, and then do the final drop. I think there's only one drop to go, in my opinion, because there's only going to be, I think, 10 or 11,000 horses left after they give away these 6,000, and I think that will constitute just one final drop. Whether or not, there is also the chance that they do the giveaway and then they do a drop like a week or two later, and then that's it for Genesis. They're all gone. No more Genesis on the marketplace. So, yeah, it could be, who knows exactly. Breeding though, breeding was back. Breeding is back. What was the date? And although it's still a little bit away, I think it's the 12th of July. We are working towards a target date of 12th of July. Now this is concerning. The working toward a target date is the concerning part. If they said, you know, this is it, because a lot of people on Discord are saying, you know, this is the date. If you don't have that by then it's going to be a ruckus, and it will be. It'll be an absolute poo storm if they don't have it by the 12th. So let's hope that they do. Maybe they could even do it on the 11th, just to keep us on our toes. We'll do a review at a later date, M-Plum. $1,000 for a horse that never dies seems like a great deal for me. Well, I tend to agree. 0 vet fees, you don't have to feed it. There is one of the beautiful things about Z-Run, as I look through these other games, and I'll talk to you about these other games tomorrow, a lot of these other games have a lot of add-ons. Okay, so you have to upgrade your car and buy tyres and buy engines and buy this and buy that. Z-Run, you don't have to. You can spend your money on breeding new horses and trying to, you know, dial in breeding so that you get better and better races. So you're actually getting another horse for your money, and that horse has value, and that horse can be on-sold on an open seat. Okay, so this is, as far as I'm concerned, this is one of the best designed games in the NFT space. It is the best designed game with all its different facets, but it is all those different facets, the racing, the breeding, the class system, you know, even the drop system, that is causing the team to be stretched at the moment. They're always looking to hire, I think, so hopefully they get that dialed in soon and start ticking those boxes as we go. But yeah, if the prices of the horses drop, then are all these people that are desperately wanting horses, most of them will also turn away because they think, oh, Z is dead, that's gone, all right? Same when Bitcoin hit $3,000. Most people didn't want to know about it. Bitcoin's dead, it's going to zero, was it a good time to buy? Well, it turns out in hindsight that it was. Same with Z. Well, maybe the same with Z. When everyone thinks that it's at the lowest of the low and the Z10 prices maybe drop down to $300, $400, might be a good buying opportunity. It could also go to zero, but it could also be the best buying opportunity of this particular Z-Run game. Van Dung, I only asked to get a free horse or buy one at the drop. I only paid 3x for a horse at OpenSea. Well, I think you've done well on the OpenSea buy. Like, you've done well. Keep looking for those. The kind of entitlement that you only ask that you get a free horse or buy one at the drop is what's causing the issues when there's so many horses on OpenSea. And if you can get them for 3x, you're doing well. Like the market says in the past, they've been 10x. So the market floor was like, you know, $1,000, $1,500. Now it's down at $700. So they're already at a discount. The problem is that the free horses and the $200 horses are making everyone feel like that they deserve one. And look, if you don't get one, like that's just bad luck. And if you do, that's lucky. But don't, you know, you can't sort of bank on that being the case. Joe, do I anticipate the value of Genesis horses increasing as Z Team introduces more parameters to the game? I think you mean donkeys. I think you're talking about donkeys there. Yeah, possibly. There's going to be some horses that the new parameters favour, and those horses will go up in value, in my opinion, in relation to the market. Now, What I mean by that is those horses will go up in relation to their peers within the market. Now, where the market is at that time, the market could be lower or higher from where it is now. Let's assume, again, talking Z10s, that the average Z10 might be currently going for $450. The average Z10 might be $400, $450. And if you all of a sudden have a donkey that is favouring wet conditions over gate 11 in Australian races or something, and it starts being a $6 favourite when it used to be a $12 intermediate horse, then that horse's value might go up. But you know, the average horse at that time could be $200 for a Z10, or it could be $1,000 for a Z10. So it really depends on where the game average or the floor of those particular horses is to where that value will be. So we don't really know, is Z going up at the moment, or is Z generally trending downwards? I see a downwards trend currently myself in pricing. Now, that is not financial advice. Do your own research. I don't think there's going to be digital jockeys, Mike. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think Z is almost perfect as is. That's the beautiful thing. It's almost perfect. And all we have to wait for is probably another 6 months, and this game will just be boom. I won Thomas. Probably means Genesis donkeys, and boy do I have one. $29 odds in the Griffey has been his best, 40 plus in the rest. You know, what is the use case of those horses? I'm not sure, to be honest. But look, with things like Sandbox, with things like Decentraland and all these other virtual spaces, are they going to need virtual horses for sightseeing tours or, you know, dressage, these kind of things? Maybe Z can also be the digital horse of the metaverse. It's highly likely. Okay, no, Lance, I haven't heard of anyone losing their weave, but yeah, contact the Z team, they'll sort it out for sure. Near perfect as it is, let's not mess it up. Let's be positive, look for those deals, look for opportunities, and I'm going to give you something to be positive about tomorrow with the new games, something new to look forward to. But then we can all complain about not getting one of the 100 NFTs, I nearly said what it was, one of the 100 NFTs in this new project, because I'm sure most of us are going to miss out. But anyway, let's wait for tomorrow and we'll talk about that. In the meantime, the rest of the day, I'm going to pre-record a whole bunch of Z videos, hopefully get them out this week or next. Chat tomorrow. Make sure you subscribe and don't miss out tomorrow's exciting show. All right, see you later. Bye for now.